We regret to inform you that your membership in Global Entry has been revoked for the following reason, in parentheses S, reasons. An individual is ineligible to participate in the Trusted Traveler programs if Customs and Border Patrol, at its sole discretion, determines that the individual presents a potential risk for terrorism, criminality, violating customs, agriculture, and/or immigration laws, or is otherwise not a low-risk traveler. They're not saying I'm a terrorist. They're saying that if you are on a watch list, like, these are some of the common reasons as to why people...
Here's the facts. Even if they did deny him for terror, I think that they made the right decision. And I'm going to explain why.
So, it looks like Hasan just inadvertently admitted to everyone that he misled them regarding his ICE detainment. It was just the other week when Hasan was giving us the most dramatic retelling of a story I've heard in a while, trying to explain to everyone that he was detained for hours by ICE. The guy made it seem like he was being targeted for being a journalist and was at risk of being arrested by the Trump administration indefinitely. But turns out Hasan is just a forgetful Andy and didn't check his email showing that his global entry status had been revoked. So when he showed up to the airport and used the wrong lane, it probably flagged him for additional screening. The question is, though, why was his global entry status revoked? Well, Asmongold seems to think it could have something to do with Hasan's blatant promotion of extremist organizations. And I think he could be onto something, to be honest. Anyway, let's tune into Hasan telling his stream about his global entry status being revoked.
Okay. All right, let's blast off. Also, I got an update. The Department of Homeland Security, I was doing an interview with some Japanese newspaper this morning, and I looked through my emails to find whether or not the Department of Homeland Security had responded to my redress over my trip. And they have. They have responded. Actually, as a matter of fact, they responded this past Monday. Okay? But in the process of their response, I also found out that a while back, they had also revoked my global entry. You know, they revoked it before my entry, and I didn't even know. And what's even crazier is at no point did they even mention that they had revoked my global entry. They don't even mention it in the redress letter, which is so psychotic. They never, no one had ever even informed me. What's interesting, however, about this entire process is they did not fucking tell me what the reason for the revocation of global entry was. Because I looked it up and, okay, it says, Dear Hasan Piker, thank you for your participation in the global entry program of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Global Entry is a voluntary program available to travelers that pass a comprehensive background investigation. Applicants found to be ineligible for Global Entry participation may still be permitted to enter into the United States, although they will not be permitted to use the Global Entry lanes. We regret to inform you that your membership in Global Entry has been revoked for the following reason, in parentheses S, reasons. There's a big space there. And the only thing that it says is, you do not meet program eligibility requirements. Customs and Border Patrol is tasked with protecting our nation's borders as well as enforcing numerous laws, blah, 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 blah. Government agencies, including state and local enforcement. Again, boilerplate. Occasionally, CBP may inconvenience law-abiding persons in an effort to detect, deter. After careful review, we have determined that your Global Entry Program membership was revoked because you don't meet the guidelines of the program for program participation. An individual is ineligible to participate in the Trusted Traveler programs if Customs and Border Patrol, at its sole discretion, determines that the individual presents a potential risk for terrorism, criminality, violating customs, agriculture, and/or immigration laws, or is otherwise not a low-risk traveler. This risk determination will be based in part on an applicant's ability to demonstrate past compliance with laws, regulations, or policies. Okay? Reasons why an applicant may not qualify for participation include, but is not limited to, This applicant provides false or incomplete information on the application. The applicant has been arrested for or convicted of any criminal offense or is denied firearms transactions, pending criminal charges, protection orders. Applicant has been found in violation of any customs, immigration, or agricultural regulations. Obviously, none of this works for me. Okay? None of these things. This is, again, boilerplate. This is not, they're not saying I'm a terrorist. They're saying that if you are on a watch list, like, these are some of the common reasons as to why people, you know, are no longer eligible to be on it. None of this applies to me. The whole point is that none of this literally fucking applies to me at all. Unless there's something I don't know, like I'm a subject of a ongoing investigation or something.
So, we should be seeing some more Hasan puff pieces coming up, eh? Good to know, I guess. Not like we have enough of those. But what the hell does Hasan mean by none of these things apply to him, and these are all just boilerplate? Like, sure, it might be a standard document, but to say that none of this applies to you is just playing ignorant, dude. You know exactly what applies to you, Hasan.
You think what Hasan's saying is wrong?
Of course, he's completely insane.
Dude, are you kidding me?
No, he is. Like, this is no joke.
Oh no.
Let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, like overall, what my favorite flag?
Yeah.
Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel.
Oh.
What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like bad example, Chris Brown dancing, you know.
No. They do like
What is
they do
this?
musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
They start overtaking the shit, and they're like, "Guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel."
He's completely insane. This is no joke. I like him, but his politics are insane.
Like, dude, let's not play ignorant here. It really shouldn't even be a question on why your status got revoked. Sure, I'm still not completely convinced that you just didn't fully fill out some information and got revoked that way, but let's just assume that's not what happened. The document is pretty clear, Hasan. It says it right there in black and white. You can't be promoting or engaging in conduct that could suspect you in the aid of terror. You interviewing a Houthi pirate under the guise of journalism while you just totally glaze him is one thing. But when you combine that with your favorite flag, or your love for downplaying extremist propaganda, and essentially endorsing the murder of a healthcare CEO, things really start to stack up against you. And that isn't even an exhaustive list, let's be real. I could go on for quite a while. We all know this guy's greatest hits. Honestly, I think Asmongold actually made a great point about all of this. Take a look at this.
Here's the facts. Even if they did deny him for terror, I think that they made the right decision. And I'm going to explain why. If you are the American government, are you operating in the best interest and to keep the public safe by letting a person who says that they 10 toes down support a terrorist organization go through pre-approval? Are you in good faith acting in the best interest of the country? Everybody knows the answer to that is no. But the reality is that the bar for this isn't being a criminal. And it says right there that it's not being convicted of terror. It's suspected of having been engaged in conduct constituting aid of terror. Anybody who's watched his stream knows that that is a 1-for-1. That's the square block goes into square hole. You cannot interview a Houthi terrorist that you introduce as a Houthi terrorist
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean?
Give him a hand heart.
I love you يعني لهم كلهم.
That's cool. Yeah, we love you too, man. Big time. Yeah.
This is honestly just a great point by Asmongold. It just cuts to the meat of the argument. It would be irresponsible of the government to give a man pre-approval while traveling, saying, hey, this guy is good to go, he's clear, he is safe, when he's literally said America deserved 9/11. Not to mention interviewing a Houthi pirate and completely glazing him. Or how about cheering on rebels invading a shipping boat and kidnapping its crew? Or better yet, how about when he essentially promoted the killing of the healthcare CEO? And like I said, this list just goes on and on. The question really is, how the hell did this guy get approved for this in the first place?
Categorically and definitively, Hasan has promoted terror. I haven't seen a single argument that actually says that it's not true. Now, there's some people who say it's not terrorism. That's fine. You can say that. But according to the government, it is. And if you're supporting a group that, according to the government, is a terrorist organization, you should expect the government to expect you or to think that you are supporting terrorists. That's the way it is.
It really is that simple. Why should you expect anything different, to be honest? I wouldn't. Not to say you have to agree with it. I'm just saying you shouldn't be expecting anything different. Anyway, now that we've established that Hasan is a forgetful Andy and didn't check his email to realize that his global entry status had been revoked, so the guy ended up wandering into the wrong express lane at the airport, prompting additional checks because he was in the wrong fucking line. Now, let's listen to how dramatic Hasan describes his situation after it happened so he could get the maximum response from his community.
For those of you who don't know, I was detained by Customs and Border Patrol. I was tactically ascertained and engaged in a kinetic situation where I was kinetically moved into a detention center inside of the O'Hare Airport, which I will tell you all about in a second. Oh, man. Didn't pass the ocular pat down. I believe it was before the ocular pat down. It's the flight manifest that they get ahead of time. They knew who I was, and they were ready to receive me, let's just say. And it wasn't a very warm welcome. Finally get into the United States of America, and at which point I'm like, all right, let's do it. I got global entry. This is going to be my first ever global entry entrance. Hopefully this will go smoothly. Global entry, first time ever. I get to the global entry line, and they're processing everybody expeditiously. You walk up, boom. You walk up, immediately they take your photo of your face, and you walk in, and there's a customs person there, cop there, just basically waves you. Okay? And they do that over and over again. Gets to me, take a photo, boom, walk in. Instantly, the Customs and Border Patrol agent goes, "Step aside, sir." I was like, here we go. All right. She goes, "Step aside, sir. An agent will come in and take you to another location." I was like, is that proper protocol? It's like, sometimes it happens. And I was like, okay. And I knew at that point, I was like, okay, I'm texting like family. I'm like, this is happening. I'm texting my manager. You know, I was basically I got Lolo on. I was like, listen, I'm going in. All right. I'm freaking going in. It's who knows how long this will take? Who knows what will happen? And I had already heard like horror stories from people. There was like that one girl on TikTok that had talked about this. And I thought to myself, all right, it's done. It's happening to me as well. It is what it is. I'm waiting in the corner. This Latina ICE agent comes up, picks me up, takes me to this detention center. I sit down, fluorescent light bulbs, the whole nine. Okay. They have benches in the back of O'Hare Airport where there's like a detention area. Okay. There's a detention area. I'm sitting there. There's like a bunch of terrified families. Okay. There's an old lady in a wheelchair. There's like a mom and daughter behind me. There's some like random dude in front of me. And the way it works is there's a back door, right? And they take your passport, they go to the back door. You don't know what the hell's going on in there, but they sometimes come out and they just say someone's name with their passport in their hands and they go, "You're clear to leave." So they basically, when they bring you to the detention area, they, I guess, do some kind of surveillance on your background to figure out if you are, if you're going to get harassed even further or if this level of harassment is fine.
Hasan essentially goes into this dramatic telling of being questioned by this ICE agent that asked him numerous questions about his Twitch content and what he talks about, and even claims that he was asked about his support for Palestine and his recent Rick Scott comments. Hasan even tried to make it seem like they were interested in trying to get him caught up in something so they could indefinitely detain him. And I'm just sitting here asking myself, after all this information about his status being revoked has come to light, how much of this was even true at all? I mean, if you've looked around, people are already questioning the timeline of things, saying things don't quite add up. I mean, it's already been established this guy wasn't being targeted for his quote-unquote journalism, like the dude was trying to imply the entire time. The guy didn't even check his global entry status before trying to use it for the first time. I mean, come on, this guy just completely brought this upon himself. I mean, I know streamers are kind of like bad at like keeping into contact with people and doing real life things, but dude, this is just embarrassing. The guy completely brought this upon himself. Hasan should have never been approved for this in the first place. It was actually irresponsible of them to do that. But at least it was checked before the guy was even able to use it. And if Hasan has a problem with that, then boo-hoo. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Don't irresponsibly glaze extremists to your audience of thousands of impressionable young commies. And just think that there will be absolutely no repercussions for you doing that. Alright guys, I said my bit. Hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you want to see more content like this, YouTube thinks you're going to like this video right here.